chicken fettuccine Alfredo. Welcome to V's Cooking with Love channel. What a recipe! It's really not that old. It goes back only to 1914, and it has an interesting little story that goes with it. But oh my gosh, do you see what I'm talking about? I have played with all these ingredients, and you can adjust it to whichever way you want this to be. But this is such a creamy, delicious sauce. So of course, when you're ready, let's cook. And of course, we are cooking this with chicken, a couple of breasts of chickens that pound or two approximately, depends how many servings you want to come up with, and just dice them to the pieces that you would like to have them served, little strips, little cubes. And I'm using mushrooms here. You don't have to. I love the mushrooms in this recipe. About a pound of mushrooms I used, but you can use even a half, and they just have to be sliced, of course. And I'm using also onion and garlic, depends on how oniony and garlicky you want to get. About a half an onion if it's a big one, or one smaller one. 3-4 cloves of garlic, and they need to be minced. I would recommend to use deeper dish to cook this, because we are making this in one pot. I use this Dutch oven, and I made this with olive oil, but you can do some butter too. You can do half and half of it, little oil, little butter, or just butter, depends how dangerous you want to get. And we are adding our chicken, and we will be adding our salt and pepper as we go to the ingredients. Don't add everything at once. So a little bit of salt and pepper here, and we are just cooking all this until the chicken is pink, is gone. You see right now it's pink, and we are just going to be stirring it around and making sure that it becomes that whitish color, because we need to take it out, but it comes back later to the pot. So if it's not finished cooking, that's fine too, because it will have plenty time to do so. Yeah, so actually this recipe comes from Rome, from Italy, and it's named after the owner of the restaurant, that he made this recipe actually for his wife. His wife was pregnant and didn't feel so well, so he wanted to have some filling meal for her, which she actually loved. Her name was Inez, for wherever that's, if you want to know. And his name was Alfredo Di Lelio, and he had a restaurant in Rome. And actually this recipe, like I said, it dates back to 1914, but it didn't become famous until Americans came to play. When our chicken is done, you want to take it out and just put it in a dish that it's covered later to keep it warm. So you see, yes, there were two actors, husband and wife. They went on the honeymoon to Italy. Douglas Fairbanks and Mary Pickford. In 1920, they stopped by for a meal at that restaurant, and that's what they had. And they totally loved it, and they were the ones that brought it to United States. So there you have it. If you want to tell that story to somebody, I thought that was pretty neat. That's why I'm sharing it with you. We will be adding a little bit of olive oil or butter again once the chicken is out, and you might want to add it a little bit later if it's necessary. Depends how your ingredients are going, because when the onion and garlic later that comes to play, you want to make sure that you have plenty oil in the pan. So a little bit of salt and pepper again, and we will be stirring our onion until it gets a little bit of a goldish color, and that's when we're adding our garlic. Yeah, it's slowly getting there. I'm using fresh garlic as well as powdered garlic. I always kind of like to add both. I think it adds a little bit more to it. And just stir things around in the minced garlic first. And I use about a teaspoon of powdered garlic. You can use a half a teaspoon, or you can totally skip it. Looks good, smells good. We'll stir things around, and the next ingredient that will be going in is our diced mushrooms. And they will cook a few minutes until they get a little bit, the liquid comes out, and they are a little bit brownish color too. And if you don't like mushrooms, no worries, you can skip those too. However, if you like mushrooms, I highly recommend them. You can use the white mushrooms, you can use the bella mushrooms, whichever one you prefer. And you see, nice, nice, nice. Once the mushrooms are done, we will be returning our chicken back to the recipe. And I do have a little mystery going on here, so make sure you stay till the end, because there is an ingredient that you want to discover in this recipe. Just spread things around, and we will be adding more goodies to it. Of course, you can make this with different ingredients. However, heavy whipping cream, I use 3 cups here, it will make things creamier. You can use half and half. If you want to go lighter, you can even use milk. It's really up to you. And also to that, I'm adding some chicken broth, about 2.5 cups. So if you are changing ingredients, you can also add more chicken broth and less heavy cream, as long as you have about that 5.5 cups of liquid, because this is one pot recipe. We are cooking our noodles in here, so you want to make sure that they have room to cook. And yes, there is a secret ingredient here that makes things even more creamier. Stay put. Leave me a comment if you know what I'm talking about. Fettuccine means actually pasta, and you can use different kind of spaghetti-ish pasta, about 1 pound. And once all the pasta is in, just make sure it's in the liquid. You want to make sure that it's being cooked in the liquid, and that is very important. So just kind of push it down to the bottom of the pot. All our pasta, and now we're gonna submerge it, and the pasta will grow and the liquid will also disappear too. So the trick to it is just to mix a few times, just to make sure that all the ingredients are cooking evenly. No worries, they will. And I think cooking pasta and all this, it's not only saves you a cleanup but it adds the flavor too. You can make it with not making the pasta in this and just skip the chicken broth, and that will work too. And you see how yummy it's all becoming? Oh yeah. And thank you again for all your subscribers out there. And yes, subscribe to my channel for all the new videos coming out. There is more to it. It's starting to look already delicious, doesn't it? It will thick up even more. It will be thickened up way gooier. And it smells incredible. And again, you can adjust these ingredients so they can be even more dangerous, like this. But even cooking with milk and adding some sour cream, it will serve it too. So just keep that in mind. We're cooking all this on that medium high, and you see what I'm talking about when the liquids are being absorbed by the noodles and they are cooking out a little bit. This is so creamy. This is truly the best sauce you can make. We are adding some fresh Italian parsley because we are almost ready to serve. And also, if you want to add some Parmesan cheese and take it to the next level, I highly recommend it. Original recipe did have the Parmesan cheese in it. And you can do half a cup or you can do a whole cup. You want to probably serve some Parmesan cheese a little bit for later for garnishing, as well as the parsley too. And just mix things around. And we are almost ready to serve. Here is your Fettuccine Alfredo. Delicious, delicious, creamy deliciousness. The more cheese you will add, the gooier it will become too. Or you can just add a little bit for the garnish, and that will be enough too. The taste of that garlic and all these ingredients, it's really, you can't go wrong. The ingredients are simple. The recipe is delicious. And all your family will love it. Just like originally, the lady that ate it the first time, she loved it too. And imagine, it came all the way to America. It's actually even more popular here too. And some Parmesan cheese. Little parsley for garnish. And here you have it. Chicken Fettuccine Alfredo. Named after the man that invented it. I know you will enjoy it. We certainly did. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. The missing ingredient, it's listed here. Let me know.